The year is 431 BCE. The Aegean is calm. Trade ships move between islands. Cities shine with marble, art, and confidence. Greece appears united, triumphant, and destined for greatness. It will not last. Within a generation, these same cities will burn. Armies that once stood shoulder to shoulder against Persia will cut each other down. The world's most celebrated democracy will tear itself apart, and the idea of a united Greek future will vanish. This is the story of how Greece destroyed itself. This channel tells the stories of turning points, not just battles or famous names, but the deepest systems beneath them, how cultures rise, how they fracture, and why powerful civilizations sometimes make the decision that breaks them. The Peloponnesian War is usually described as Athens versus Sparta, but that description is too small. This is not only a war between two cities, it is the question of why Greece, at the height of its power, never became a single nation, why the birthplace of philosophy, democracy, and science chose conflict over unity, why brilliance did not prevent collapse, because this isn't just about armies on land and fleets at sea. It is about a system that could not survive its own success. To understand the war, we begin earlier. A generation before the conflict, Greece had done the impossible. City-states that spoke the same language but rarely trusted one another, united against the Persian Empire. At Marathon, Salamis, and Plataea, they stopped one of the greatest powers on earth. But victory brought something unexpected: space. With Persia driven back, no external enemy remained to force cooperation. The Greeks were now free to shape their own future. That freedom would become the most dangerous thing they had. Athens emerged from the Persian Wars transformed. Its fleet dominated the Aegean. Its walls made it almost untouchable. Tribute flowed in from allies of the Delian League, turning the city into a cultural superpower. Drama, philosophy, architecture all flourished under a confident democracy. Sparta, meanwhile, remained what it had always been: disciplined, cautious, built for land war, deeply suspicious of change. Where Athens embraced openness and debate, Sparta guarded tradition and hierarchy. It ruled the Peloponnese through fear, control, and an army unmatched on land. Two models of power, two visions of Greek life, and both believed their system was the correct one. No single event made conflict inevitable. Pressure built slowly. Athens expanded its influence over the islands and coasts. Tribute payments increasingly looked like enforced taxation. Allies became subjects. Sparta watched a naval empire rise that it could not easily counter. The Greeks had defeated Persia together. Now each side prepared for the next struggle against their former partners. The turning point did not come from a grand speech or a single insult. It came from a chain of decisions that narrowed options until one path remained. Corinth, an important Greek city, clashed with Athenian power. Smaller states were drawn in. Diplomats tried to contain the disputes, but distrust had already hardened into expectation. Sooner or later, war would come. When Athens placed economic pressure on Corinth's allies and strengthened its network of fortified ports, Sparta faced a question it had avoided for years. Could it allow Athens to grow any stronger? Spartans were cautious by nature, trained to delay action until necessary. That discipline had preserved their state for centuries. But restraint has a cost. Each year, Athens became wealthier, more confident, and more deeply entrenched in the Aegean. What made this moment different was not just fear. It was the realization that the balance had already tipped. If Sparta waited longer, it might never be able to challenge Athens at all. The decision was made. Sparta would go to war. The conflict that followed was not simple. It was not a straight line of victories and defeats. It was a test of systems. Athens relied on walls in the sea. Its strategy, shaped by Pericles, was disciplined and defensive. Avoid Spartan armies on land, keep control of the navy, and bleed the enemy economically. It trusted time, money, and ships more than heroic charges. Sparta relied on infantry and pressure. It would ravage Athenian farmland, force Athens to come out and fight, and use alliances to challenge Athenian dominance overseas. It trusted endurance, training, and fear. At first, the war looked like a stalemate to different forms of power refusing to fight on the other's terms. Then something unexpected happened. Crowded behind their walls, the Athenians faced a devastating plague. Disease moved through the packed city, killing tens of thousands, including Pericles himself. Democratic confidence was shaken. Patience with cautious strategy faded. Voices calling for risk became louder. This is where the deeper conflict emerges, not only between cities, but within Athens itself. Democracy is powerful, but it is also emotional. Anger, pride, and ambition can move policy as strongly as calculation. After the plague, restraint seemed weak. The city that had once trusted time now wanted decisive action. Discipline began to break. Sparta, for its part, was not free of tension. Its system demanded simplicity, but it was now engaged in a complex, long maritime struggle. The war pushed it beyond the environment it understood best. Both sides were powerful. Both sides were intelligent. Neither side could back down without admitting that their entire vision of Greek order was flawed. The most striking example of impulse overtaking strategy came from Athens. Rather than securing its position, Athens launched the Sicilian Expedition, a massive, ambitious attempt to conquer faraway Syracuse. It promised wealth, glory, and decisive victory. On paper it looked bold. In reality it stretched Athenian resources beyond safety. This was the moment where systems cracked. The Athenian fleet sailed, commanders clashed, plans shifted, and the expedition stalled. Sparta exploited the distraction. Persian money entered the conflict. The expedition ended in catastrophe, ships destroyed, soldiers captured or killed, morale broken. Athens had taken a gamble it did not need to take. It paid the full price. From here, the war shifted. Sparta gained naval support. Athens faced internal political turmoil, economic strain, and military defeat. The long, grinding conflict eroded the democratic confidence that had once seemed unshakable. No single battle destroyed Athens, entropy did. Spartan discipline, Persian funding, and Athenian exhaustion slowly created the outcome. In 404 BCE, after years of pressure, blockade, and attrition, Athens surrendered. Its walls were torn down. The empire dissolved. The most brilliant city of the Greek world was broken not by foreign invaders, but by its own system failing under stress. But the story does not end with Athens' fall. The deeper impact of the Peloponnesian War is that it removed the possibility of a united Greece at the moment when unity mattered most. City-states were left weaker, poorer, and less trusting than before. Allies had become rivals. Democratic faith was shaken. Spartan control was temporary, and no city could truly dominate without provoking resistance. Into this fractured landscape would later step Macedonia under Philip and Alexander, powers that succeeded precisely because Greece had exhausted itself. The war did not just end an Athenian empire. It ended the chance for Greece to shape the Mediterranean as a single, coordinated civilization. The ideas of Greece would spread philosophy, drama, science, but the Greeks themselves lost the ability to decide how those ideas would be used. The Peloponnesian War is therefore not just a military conflict, it is a warning. A civilization can be brilliant, creative, and admired, yet still fall because its systems reward rivalry over unity, because it confuses victory in one moment with security for the future, because it believes that success proves its structure cannot fail. Greece was not destroyed by barbarians at the gate, it was destroyed by choices made inside the walls. The takeaway is calm, but it is not comforting. Strength does not guarantee survival. Intelligence does not guarantee wisdom, and sometimes the most dangerous period for a civilization is not when it is threatened, but when it believes the threats are gone. So, what should we cover next? Which moment in history looked like triumph, but quietly became the beginning of decline? If you found this story worth your time, consider liking the video, subscribing, and sharing your thoughts below. Your suggestions shape what we explore next. And remember, history does not repeat itself, but the systems that break once can break again.